Still December 5th, 2022. Hope everybody out there is having a good evening. Start off by saying, you guessed it, subscribe if you haven't. Talk to you a little bit about the North Carolina power grid attacks. When it happened, I got a message from a subscriber that told me that lived up there that their power was out and they were hearing that it was some kind of attack on the power grid. So I've made a post on my community page about it just within an hour or two after it happened. And now we're hearing all kind of things. You know, I'm hearing on some channels that it was a terrorist attack. We're hearing it was, you know, that this is the beginning of everything. One thing you got to remember, especially if you live in the South like I do, a lot of good old boys like to, you know, drink a little bit and they go out and shoot stuff. Right or wrong, they like to do that. And that could be what it is. It could have just been a couple of good old boys that had a little too much to drink, went out and started shooting stuff. But now, you know, you got a lot of people out of power up there. Of course, they're making a big deal about how cold it is. You know, it's not freezing cold. You know, 40 degrees up there at night or something like that's what they're saying. That's not good either way, I'm not saying, but it's better than it would be if it was in the middle of, you know, 10-degree weather. But we're hearing all kind of things. You know, do I think it was a Russian sabotage? No. You know, was it ISIS attacks? No. I don't know what it was, but you know, a lot of channels on here now are starting to, you know, get ready, get prepared. Here, we're starting it now, we're starting it, here it comes. And what they're trying to do is be one of the first ones to get out there and tell y'all, hey, I was one that told y'all that this was going to happen. You know, I told you. I was the first channel. And of course, since, you know, they're making it huge, a huge deal, you know, which it is a huge deal for the people that live in that community, don't get me wrong. But is it the start of, you know, major power grid attacks all across the United States? Probably not. I wouldn't think so. You know, if you want to come on my channel and you want me to scare the hell out of you or tell you that this is going to happen and that's going to happen, I'm not the person you need to be watching. I tell you my opinion on things. I tell you what I think might happen from the way I see things going. But as far as every day coming on here telling you that, you know, that this is it, this is going to cause this is going to, I don't know. And I'm also not going to be jumping on here telling you that it was Russians attacking our power grid or something like that. You know, now, don't get me wrong, there's sleeper cells in the country. We all know that. There's sleeper cells here. It's just waiting to be woke up to start stuff. But, you know, my theory on this was if it was going to be an attack on the power grid, maybe it was a test run to see how they would get away with it. But if it was going to be an all-out attack, I think we would have seen it in multiple places at once. Not just one county, you know, one county of North Carolina. I've always said, though, by saying that, I also said before, you would think it would be smarter to hit a smaller town because by the time the word got out what was going on, it would just be a cascading event. You know, what I mean by that is, let's say there was a biological weapon used, you know, put in a water system. Well, if you start off in a small town, put it in their water system, by the time it gets spreading everywhere and they finally figure out what's going on, well then it's everywhere. That would make sense to me. You know, a lot of people think the bigger cities would get hit first and things like that. They could. Now don't get me wrong, I can't sit here and tell you what will and won't happen, but that's my thoughts on it, that a smaller city, a smaller location, you know, and then spread out from there. I don't think this is a beginning of a massive power grid attack. I could be wrong. You could have some copycatters that go out and do it, you know, just to try to make a name for themselves. But do I think it was the Russians that did it? No. Do I think it was some terrorist group? Could be. You know, it could be something like that. But, you know, and one thing, they're calling them marksmen. You know, these marksmen come out there and did this. You don't have to be a marksman to hit this stuff. You know, they're just sensationalizing it by saying it was a marksman that come out there, you know, a sniper off in the woods 400 yards away popping, you know, stuff at a substation. Could it be? Yes. But as far as y'all realize, a lot of the channels on here, the way they are, they want to scare you. They want you coming back for more and more and more. You know, like I've told you, my channel don't get viewed a lot, and it's probably because I don't do that. I tell you my opinion on it. I tell you what I think is going to happen, but I don't come on here telling you this is going to happen, that's going to happen. If this happens, that happens. I can't, you know, It's my opinions on it, what way I see it. If you like it, you watch the video. If you don't, you don't. And that's probably why I don't have a lot of viewers, because I'm not on here every day telling you the end of the world's coming right now. You know, because a lot of people like to be scared, and that's their thing. They want to be scared. You know, I'm not the channel to watch for that. If you're still watching, hit the subscribe button. We'll see what happens with this. I'm sure we'll probably won't never hear nothing else about it again, who did it, if they catch who did it or whatever. But you know, that's just the way things are. Well, it's all news on Monday, and by Saturday it's crickets. You know, that's the way it is. You don't hear nothing else about it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Like or dislike the video. Comment on it. Let me know your thoughts. You know, what do you think it is? That's why I always ask you your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts, because maybe I'll be like, let me look into that and see if, you know, what I think about that. Stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. You're not safe anywhere in the world anymore. Get out there, get prepped up, and if you're in the North Carolina area, I hope they get the power back on to you soon, and I hope you were prepped up and ready to go for some event like this. I've always told you, it does not, a SHTF event does not have to be worldwide. It could only affect you. Stay safe, get prepped up.